I'm very excited to talk to you guys about Request Network. This is one of my favorite projects. I am invested in Request Network. I participated in the ICO last year. I thought it was a winner from the get-go. There was a lot of FUD when the ICO first came out, but I knew it was going to do well. It dipped after the ICO, but I held. And earlier this year, I think it ran up all the way to close to $1 or so, yeah? So it's had a good run, and now it's come all the way back down. But anyways, I am very excited to talk to you guys about Request Network, because I think it's necessary for the space, and I think it's a good project to talk about. I think people should be aware of Request Network. So, okay, let's get started. So, if this is your first time listening to my podcast or watching my videos, I have a filter table. You can go on my website and take a look at the filter table, but it should be shown on the screen right now. I just use the filter table to filter out investments that I consider too risky. Yeah, if it's a certain type of project and it has a market cap that I consider too high, I tend not to invest in it, because the downside, obviously, the higher the market cap goes, the higher the downside as well. So I just use this to mitigate risk. So Request Network currently, right now, it goes through my filter table. It has a net worth of, let's see, what does REQ, what's the current market cap on REQ? 151 million, right there, right on the button. For dApps, right, I only invest in dApps that are necessary for the space. I don't invest in regular dApps anymore. I don't care how nice the idea is. I only consider investing in dApps that I feel are necessary for the space, and the rest of my investments goes into platforms and super blockchain projects. So it goes to the filter table. That's good. So let's start. Let's start off with the team. Let's take a look at the Request Network team. Oh, before that, let me define what Request Network is. I'll tell you their definition, and I'll tell you the way I see Request Network. So this is how they define themselves. So they say they are a decentralized network built on top of Ethereum, which allows anyone, anywhere to request a payment. We're here to serve as a bridge between the physical and the digital world. Yeah. By enabling easy-to-use payment requests on the blockchain, the Request Network Foundation empowers everyone in the world to take full control of their personal finances. That's how they define themselves. I'll tell you how I see it. Now, I see cryptocurrencies as still a speculative investment that will one day become a real investment, right? You still can't really use cryptocurrencies to go buy groceries or a cup of coffee or anything, but one day we will. Yeah, and I'll use this water bottle right here to illustrate the way I interpret Request Network. So let's just imagine that the water in this bottle is cryptocurrencies, the total value of cryptocurrencies right now, 300 and something billion. Let's imagine these are all cryptocurrencies. Now this water has value, right? But if it doesn't go out of here, if it doesn't go out of the very top, it's just value stored in a bottle, right? Now Request Network, they're saying, I don't even really want to be a cryptocurrency, yeah? I just want to be the gateway. Yeah, they're the toll gate. They want to be a payment gateway. So whenever water goes out, whenever cryptocurrencies of value go out into the real world for real use cases, if you want to drink water, it's likely it's going to go through here, yeah? Now imagine someone just charging just a little bit of everything that goes out. This entire market one day will be a multi-trillion-dollar market. It will be. Now imagine whoever owns or whoever wins this market space charging a small percentage on a multi-trillion-dollar market consistently. Very, very, very valuable. Big idea. Not only a big idea, it's necessary for the space. It's of no use creating value if you cannot actually use it in the real world. And cryptocurrencies will be used in the real world. Someone's gonna win this space, and I think Request Network has a good chance to dominate this space. So, anyways, what else? What else about the definition? So, I mean, people have been calling them the PayPal 2.0. They're pretty much doing what PayPal wants to do, but more. Or what PayPal is doing right now, but more. So PayPal is a gateway payment system. If you don't want to pay with your credit card, if you don't have cash, some businesses allow you pay with PayPal. You pay PayPal, PayPal sorts it out. That's what Request Network wants to do. But more. Using blockchain technology, they want to be able to store all the information, all the transactions on an immutable blockchain. And they can use that data from the blockchain to create their accounting system, to run audits. And here's something that's also very interesting. The audits can be done in real time, right? So if you've seen the total amount, let's say you're a business, right? You have a business, a small mom and pop shop, coffee store, right? Today, let's say you run an audit every 6 months or every month. So at the end of the month, you have to compile all your receipts, go through your system, compile all the records, and then find out where you are, right? If the government wanted to come and audit you, or you wanted to do your taxes, you have to go through this process. With Request Network, it's all automated, right? It's all stored. Everything that's going in and out is stored on the blockchain. So you can audit in real time. If you invested in a company, you can go to a display section and see what's coming in, what's going out, where the business is. You can make changes and find out what's going on in real time. You don't have to wait till the end of the month. You don't have to pay someone to come and compile your records or do whatever. Now, this future would not be fully appreciated now, but when Request Network or whoever dominates this space becomes an everyday thing, people will come to appreciate this. It would make no sense to compile records at the end of the month and pay someone to come and compile all your profits and your losses and figure out where money went and where money came from. It would be completely unnecessary. That process will be automated in the future, I believe. So anyways, let's go along. Another thing I should point out is another reason why I feel Request Network is of value is when I compare Request Network to its competitors, it seems seriously undervalued. Yeah, you have Omisego. Omisego is also another payment channel, and they're currently valued at the time when I wrote this report at 1.1 billion. I think they've even gone higher than 1.1 billion at some point. Let's see what OMG is right now. Okay, right now they're valued at 1 billion. Their all-time high was 2.4 billion, right? We're still early in the game, guys. Whoever wins this space will be worth a lot more than that. So, and PayPal today is worth 96 billion. But also, guys, keep in mind, at some point, PayPal will come for the cryptocurrency space. They will want a piece of the cryptocurrency space. They're not stupid. I think they just, they released, I think they patented a technology for, I don't know I don't know much about it in detail, but probably it would have to do with payment gateways, because that's their business. So yeah, Request Network is worth 112 million right now. Sorry, 150 million today. Okay, so that is Request Network. Let's get into the team. What is their team like? Where is the team? Okay, they have 9 people on the team. There's Christopher Lassute, Etienne Tatour, and a few other people. Now, if you just go on LinkedIn and look at the profiles of these these people. It doesn't seem that impressive. It seems like a nice average profile. They worked at Monetis. Most of the team worked at a company called Monetis. But I think it's a strong team suited for what they are trying to do. If these guys were trying to do an advertisement platform, I would say it's a very weak team. What they're trying to do is what they've been doing for the past, I think, 7 years or something. They know their stuff. They've been here before. This is what they do. This is what they do every day, right? And so they created a platform called Monetis, which is a money transfer platform. I went on their website and I tried to use the platform. I was impressed. At the same time, I realized it was more of a search platform. So it works similar to Western Union or MoneyGram. If you guys are not familiar with Western Union, a lot of people in third world countries who live outside their countries send a lot of money back home to their families or their friends, and it's used by a lot of people. Believe me, if you live in Europe, in a rich country, and you're not familiar with Western Union, you might not really realize how many people use it and how many transactions go through such systems. But it's a lot. It's huge. So anyways, Monetis, if you go on their website and you try to send money through the system, what they do is they find you the best deal. So they were not really a money payment channel, more of a search of different money channels, and they give you the best deal. So if you wanted to send money, for example, from the United States to India, they would search through MoneyGram, they would search through Western Union, they would search through different platforms, and they will give you the best deal. And that's pretty much what they did. But what impressed me about the team is they have been receiving funding consistently for the past 4 years while working at Monetis. Usually, companies don't receive consecutive funding if you're not making progress. In order to receive additional funding, you have to make progress, right? And so a question that has been asked, a question that created a lot of FUD when they first came out, was like, people were asking, oh, so why was the previous company not successful, Monetis? Guys, Monetis was competing with PayPal. It doesn't matter if you have better technology. It doesn't matter if you have a strong team. When it comes to real life, when it comes to stuff like this, such a huge market, it takes more than having the right tech or the right team. It takes market penetration. It takes connections. It takes having a strong technical team as well. Now, I believe this team was actually sound technically. They just might not have had the right connections. And they didn't have enough of a market advantage. Why would I leave PayPal today to use a strange system? PayPal doesn't charge that much. It works fine, right? So I imagine the competition was very, very stiff, and they could not break into that market as they planned to. But anyway, so now they've come out into the crypto world. They've left the regular payment channel, and now they're saying, okay, you know what? Perhaps we can have a stronger market advantage if we can dominate the crypto world, right? If they can win in this world. And I think they have a chance, because right now they're backed by Y Combinator. I think for such a project to be successful, you need a strong technical team. You need finances to be able to support your projects, pay the right people, push the project far, and you need the right connections. They have all three. Y Combinator has all the connections and market awareness that they could potentially need. I believe the team is sound technically, and their ICO was successful. They raised enough money for them to do the things that they wish to do, right? It's a complete, I feel it's now complete. Yeah. So let's look at other partnerships that the Request Network team has had. So they built their platform on top of Civic, OX, Aragon, and Kyber. Oh, among all these, like, you can see like everybody that they're partnering with, they're not just regular dApps. It's not some interesting idea. Sorry, but like Reem, I recently, my worst investment, Reem. These days, I feel like there are a lot of projects that sound exciting. AI, this, that. It sounds exciting, and one day these things will be real. But before we get there, we first need to focus on apps and platforms that the space actually needs. I mean, cryptocurrencies and blockchains are still not even being adopted. We're still not even using it in our everyday lives. So it's the necessary dApps that are likely to work, the necessary platforms that are likely to work. What does the space need to grow, to become more mainstream in order to function better? We need things like Request Network. We need Civic. We need OX. We need Kyber Network. So they're built. Request Network is built on top of these three. OX is to facilitate a trustless peer-to-peer exchange of ERC20 tokens. So if I have an ERC20 token and I want to pay with, for example, I want to pay with also an ERC20 token, B token. Yeah, I can pay into Request Network, and then OX can help me facilitate the conversion to Request Network or a different crypto. And then for Civic helps with identity. We need identity in the blockchain. It's important in order for governments and institutions to get involved. You need to be able to identify who you're working with in certain circumstances. So the Civic platform will help with identity. Will help provide identity for users. And then Kyber will provide liquidity and exchanges. And then Aragon, which I don't know much about Aragon yet, but it's a governance protocol, and Request Network would be a strong asset for Aragon companies by providing an automated accounting and auditability system. So for example, if you own a business or if you invested in a business, it would allow the investors and the owners to have access to the same data, transparency, so everyone can see what is going on with the company. And they also partnered with QuantStamp early on during their ICO, which is big, because QuantStamp is another needed dApp in the space. QuantStamp just audits ICOs before they come out, make sure they're secure, make sure they don't have any bugs, they're working fine. By the way, I think QuantStamp is amazing project. I wish I invested in QuantStamp early on. It's a little bit high now, but it's still a good investment, I think. But I think QuantStamp actually needs competitors. The reason I say this is because to have just one person audit the entire space is not, it wouldn't give us the best results. You need different companies. If one guy fails, another guy says, okay, I can do a better job. He learns from the other guy, because these ICOs coming out need to be audited. It's a wild west, which is not bad if you invest in early, but it creates a lot of risk and scammers come in, and I'm not sure a lot of these projects are secure, right? So anyways, it was audited by QuantStamp, which is good. It's the best that we have for now. And also they've partnered with B token. B token, if you guys don't know about B token, is pretty much a decentralized Airbnb. They want to provide short-term housing using the blockchain to reduce to make it more secure, and also provide cheaper payments for participants. So that's about the team. I gave the team an 8 out of 10. The reason I gave them an 8 out of 10 is because I think they're very well suited for what they're trying to do. Now, is it the best team ever? Is it the Fusion team? No, it's not the Fusion team, but it's a pretty good team for what they're trying to accomplish. So 8 out of 10 I think is fair. Let's go on. What's next? Market awareness. These guys have been, the Request Network team have the best communication I've seen from any crypto project. They update on their Reddit and on their Telegram every 2 weeks on their progress so far, and they have been keeping to time. And even if they fall back a few days, they'll explain why, they'll tell you what they've been doing. So all investors know exactly what's going on with the REQ team. These guys are serious. They mean it. Yeah, it's a serious team. It's a capable team. I think their market awareness has been organic. When they first came out, there was some market awareness, but people were scared. People were not sure who are these guys. But they've been consistent. Their Reddit channel has grown substantially. Last I checked, organically they had grown to about 32,000 readers. Huge. I'm not even sure One Chain Fusion or some of the other more hyped projects has that many readers on their channel. But their Telegram, for the Request Network Telegram, is it's not very active. I think the team can possibly improve that. So if you would like to know what's going on with Request Network and get involved with the community, I think Reddit is probably the best way to go. For market awareness, I gave them a 7.5 out of 10. They're not a one chain in terms of hype, but they have good market awareness. If you've been in the space long enough and you're active, you know about Request Network, right? So let's go to the next category, token economics. Right now the market cap is 112 million. Total token supply is about 1,999,999. But yeah, right now about 660 million is in circulation. The ICO was in October. Right now it's about 3x. It's actually about 5x its ICO price. At some point it was a whole lot more, right? It was pretty much a times 20. Here's another very interesting about the token economics. Now, REQ has a system where when you pay for a network fee in REQ, right? When you pay in REQ, a portion of that REQ gets burned. Now, I don't know in detail how the system works. I don't know how much REQ will get burned over the next few years. But it does say something though. It means the supply will consistently go down. If the demand for REQ continues to go up and the supply continues to go down, that's a good thing for the token price. That's a good thing for early investors. I would like to find out exactly how this token burn mechanism works. I don't know how much tokens get burned relative to how much is being paid, but I think it's very interesting. It's an interesting feature there. Hopefully we can get more clarification from that in the future. For token economics, I currently gave them a 7 out of 10. Now I would have scored them a whole lot more if it was still at ICO price. When you consider the burn-in mechanism, if you consider the upside, their competitors, Omisego is worth $1 billion right now, right? PayPal is worth 96 billion. The upside is substantial, but they're currently worth 112 million. If you consider the market space, we're currently in a bear market, right? And people are afraid. Anyone who researches REQ in detail knows this is one of the better projects, but people are afraid for now. Personally, I think the token economics is still very good, but it's not the very best, right? But it's still good, so I gave them a 7 out of 10. $100 million project that could possibly go to $1 trillion someday in the next few years. It's not going to happen in a year or two, I don't think. But the potential upside is high, so I think the token economics are decent. 7 out of 10 is what I gave them. So the next category is progress and roadmap. They released their testnet in Q4 2017. They're going to release their mainnet. Well, they promised to release their mainnet Q1 this year, 2018. We haven't heard anything, but they've sent a lot of shown a lot of progress. I think they have the mainnet ready and they're doing tests on it. They've come out and said that, and they're running final audits on the mainnet to make sure it's working properly. I think that's good. As much as they're keeping to time, but they're trying to make sure that when the mainnet comes out, it comes out correctly. Because if they release the mainnet and it has significant or big, huge bugs that could cause major problems, the market cap could be seriously affected, and people might lose faith and trust in the team. So I think it's good that they're taking the time to make sure the mainnet is working properly. And they're also trying to create something called the Request Network Foundation, which is to support development of innovative dApps and invite developers to build on top of the Request Network platform. They're trying to grow REQ, let developers come in, add dApps, add apps, make it more robust, make it more complex, because at the end of the day, I think the best projects are not entirely done just by the team. You need to have some more of an open collaboration with different developers, which you can reward in REQ or anything else. Bring the best minds together. Right? That's the best way. But they need to protect their core project. So anyway, so that's for the progress. I give them a 9 out of 10. I mean, these guys came out late last year. How many projects are releasing the mainnet? How many people have done the testnet? How many people have been keeping to schedule? The progress has been excellent in my own opinion. Right? A lot of people on Reddit have been critical about the progress. Where is the mainnet? How many projects are releasing mainnet? Tell me another project that came out before REQ and has their mainnet released. I know one chain has their released their mainnet, but they are a fork of Ethereum, so they had a head start. These guys pretty much had to start from scratch. I think well done. So, what's my final decision? Before I give you guys my final decision, I'll tell you what I think the risks are. I think the major risk, in my opinion, is time and competition. In order for Request Network to actually grow into full use, to see its full potential, it needs time. Cryptocurrencies need to become used more often. Businesses need to adopt cryptocurrencies. People need to feel more comfortable with cryptocurrencies. At the point, hopefully, at sometime in the future, you can go to a grocery store and pay with your REQ. At that point, Request Network will start to see its full potential. Right now, it's still speculative, like every other thing in the market. Right? Everything else is pretty much speculative. How many things have been used in real life? How many blockchain technologies or cryptocurrencies do you use in your everyday life? If it's not in use, for now, it's still speculative. So that's the risk. Time. When is it going to be ready? When is the world going to be ready for cryptocurrencies and consequently REQ? And then the second thing is competition. As time goes on, people are going to realize the value of the space that REQ currently holds. It's a great position to be in. Omisego is in that space. PayPal will want to get in that space. The Goldman Sachs would want to get in that space, being the payment channel. Yeah. So they will face competition sooner or later. One advantage that they do have is that they have a head start, which is good. If different developers can contribute, people start using REQ on a small scale, they get some traction. That's to their advantage. Y Combinator can support them. Oh yeah, by the way, I read something about a partnership recently with PwC. That's huge. So you see, they're gaining traction. These are the steps that they need to take. So as cryptos become more adopted, they're already ahead of the game. They're already there. They partnered with B token. So if you like right now, I personally am going to use B token. When I travel, I do a lot of traveling, so if I want to pay for housing, I have some REQ. I can pay through the B token platform. It can be used. If it works with B token, another person might adopt it, and another might adopt it because it's working. They need to make their first projects, their first partnerships work. Right? That's why the mainnet is so important. So these are the risks. Now the potential I already on the positive side I already spoke about. Their upside. The upside is tremendous. It's it could do another 100x easily. It could eventually, maybe more, if they succeed. And the community is very, very active. They have a very supportive community, which is good, which is very, very good. And with the help of Y Combinator, by the way, they were the first crypto project backed by Y Combinator. It helps to be the first. And Y Combinator has a total valuation of 80 billion right now. So that's it. The growth potential is significant, and the team seems capable. They have great communication. The token metrics are decent. I think it's a winner. I think RQ is a winner, particularly over the long term. Now, I think it's also a winner over the short term because of, look at the partnerships. They're consistent. They keep updating the community. They're very involved with the community. So short term, I think people can gain confidence from that. And then over the long term, as they continue to prove themselves, the valuation can also continue to go up. I think I would always have a little bit of my portfolio in REQ. So because of that, I don't know if my opinion is biased. I'm just telling you guys based on my research what I'm doing and how I see it. I think it's a winner. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. Until next time.